back in the fridge that's been pretty much unopened. I've got my whole shelf. The problem is I'm sure I'm gonna have some beer to bring home for when I visit you guys this coming weekend. Oh my God, that's insane. I've got your gift already.
Hey, I only got one gift for you, the apron. I don't know what else to get you though. What else do you crave on your mind, baby girl?
Oh, I just got you the one gift too, man. I just need to make sure. You don't happen to have any Kansas CDs, do you?
What's
CDs
that?
for your car? You don't have to have any Kansas CDs for your car?
I do not know.
Okay, good. That works out.
You got me Kansas, my boy,
I got you Kansas Greatest Hits
bruh,
compilation.
bruh.
Yeah. I was
Speaking of which, I
listening to the
love the
CD
Bob Dylan.
myself.
Stuck Inside a Mobile with the Memphis Blues, like, is one of my favorite tracks on that greatest hits.
I need to listen to that. I can find it on Spotify. I've listened to his. I have his a vinyl of his Freewheelin' Bob Dylan album, which
Oh
is really
yeah.
dope. That's got Masters of War and what's the other track? What's the track list on there? It's a really good track album. Um, Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. So, oh yeah, you got Blowing in the Wind, Masters of War, Hard Rains Are Gonna Fall. Don't Think Twice, It's Alright. That one's really good.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, it's Oxford Town. Just a great track list. It was awesome. It's a good vinyl. And yeah, I found that at this record shop. It's one I'd never been to before. So it's apparently there's two locations. I think there's one in Santa Cruz and one in San Jose. But it's called Streetlight Records, which is really cool. They have a wide variety. I picked up some like dope albums there, and actually, it was funny. I picked up this one Elton John record that only had one of the two LPs in it, and so they charged me only $2 for it. So I was like, oh sweet, okay, cool. So I mean, I had to cop it. If it's like half an album, I'm down to pay just $2 for it.
100%, 100%. That is so worth it.
Yeah, I like going to get records and stuff. I have to wait to be employed again. It's been kind of a crazy week with regards to that.
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry
good.
about what happened to your gig right now. That sucks, man. Like,
It happens, man. It's never happened to me before. I was very surprised. But I've got shit figured out. I had a kick-ass interview on Friday. I had a kick-ass interview this morning. So I'm gonna text the first place tomorrow and see if they'll get back to me. And if not, it sounds like this other place is really willing to take me. So I'll text them on Wednesday and get that whole process going. So I should be cool. I should be back to work in no time. It has just been weird and yeah, really kind of stressful, but like luckily I've been figuring it out, so it's no biggie.
yeah,
I assume we're recording. Is that
yeah. I was clicking some buttons, so yeah, we've been recording for like almost 4 minutes right now.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to the pod. Wow, 4 minutes. You just let that go, man. I was like trying to figure out. It's like he hasn't said anything yet. I was trying to gauge it, but
Yeah, don't worry.
welcome.
Your boy here, the editing master, will splice this together into perfect unity.
Perfect. Yeah, I know you will. I know you will.
Yeah.
Saturday, I had to leave early because I got roped into doing this volunteer thing for one of the jobs I'm trying to get back at. So like, to try and like, I was helping out the community. We were doing like food donations, but it was 4 hours of just like almost nonstop me just like getting heavy produce and putting it in these little goodie bags of like, I had to get like a sack of potatoes in there, a sack of onions, fucking carrots, fucking tomatoes, fucking chili peppers, fucking canned tomato sauce, fucking just do a whole little gift basket of donation groceries to give to people. And it was just constant because there was a line around the building for people to get their donations, which is a good thing. It's what they were doing. It's a good thing that was being run. But it was also like, oh my god, there was also simultaneously I think a toy drive and like clothing drive, so that's cool too. Which is great. Very helpful for those who don't have the means to get those sorts of things, especially around the holidays. Like
Oh yeah.
I did all my Christmas shopping um, the first weekend of this month, and I'd probably say it cost me upwards of like somewhere like $350 to get everybody presents and stuff, which is like a pretty hefty amount of money, and especially if you're a person of like a low income or you have no income like me right now,
Yeah.
you kind of can't spend that. But anyway, So that was fun. And then I'm trying to plot my New Year's with Kate right now. We're gonna probably go we got a hotel room, so we're gonna stay in the city that night. I'm trying to get a reservation right now at my friend's restaurant. She hasn't texted me back yet, so we'll see. And then yeah, and then what's been going on in the world? Um, Elon put out some weird poll about if he wants to stay at Twitter, which seemed like such a desperate cry for like, do you guys want me or not? Like, you know what I mean? Like it was weird. I don't know. Very
I'm
much.
I'm sorry. Like Elon Musk is a teenage girl. Like that is 100% what is going on right now. It's insane to me.
You know what? That's facts.
Yeah,
He is a
yeah.
teenage girl, man. He's begging for attention. He's doing all this stupid shit.
He's
Yeah,
got
he's a teenage girl, man.
he's got this desperate like thing for like approval from random strangers online. I'm just like, what what is this mindset, bro? Like you could literally just be like, a hardworking entrepreneur, but instead, no, you gotta like be loved by like random strangers on the internet because
He actually isn't a hardworking entrepreneur. He got his wealth from apartheid money through mineral mines and stuff. He stole Tesla. He didn't even found the company or create the idea. He just stole it from some other guy when he bought shares and stuff. I can't remember how SpaceX came about, but they're mostly government contracted.
well, that's what I'm saying he could be instead of like just being like a jerk off who like thinks he's like Tony Stark when he's really not. Tony
Yeah,
Stark does
he's
not
like
kill 1,500 monkeys to try and put a computer chip into someone's brain.
that's really her 1,500. Is that how many it was?
Yeah, but if you really look at the like statistics online for like animal deaths related to scientific research, like it's apparently 100 million animals a year get killed. So I don't know what the average is per research study. So that might actually seem like a pretty small number compared to the overall number.
You said 150 million a year.
100 million, not 150, 100 million. Doesn't make it better, but
That's not no. That's like I did not expect that. I mean, like I don't know. That seems like a lot of harm. Like yeah, sure, progress. You know, I think science really is the only way that humanity will progress, and religion is what's holding us back. But
Yeah.
um, I think at the cost of that many like fucking animal lives, that's pretty horrendous. But I mean, oh, that's just yeah, that's bad. It's
Well,
not good.
what is the alternative going to be? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not defending like animal cruelty, obviously.
No, for
Like, but
sure. I mean, no, we're not. I mean, like, we're not. But like,
9 to 5 Boys does not approve of that. We love animals. Hell, I have like two dogs. Well, had two dogs. One of them passed away, unfortunately. But
oh, that's right. Yeah, now we're just down to the one.
yeah, but like yeah, we love animals on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't mind as long as like animals, like especially the most dangerous ones, like if they don't fuck with me, like I like bears from a distance. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'll appreciate a bear, from a safe, location where they're not gonna fucking tear me to shreds like they're built to do. Um,
dingoes and wolves too, obviously.
yeah, wolves, snakes,
But it's like
fucking.
if you're getting down to the whole like animal testing argument, like what's the alternative then? Test on people to see if it works for people? Because
I think there's an argument to be made, and we can get into an ethical discussion about this. Is I think there's an argument to be made that like humans can provide that consent to do that. I mean, it would be very hard to find a lot of willing participants who would risk their lives to they risk their safety and their livelihood for some science experiment because humans are just inherently selfish, or they're just they value life too much, which is totally that's also a totally fine idea to have, fine value to hold. Life is kind of precious, but but I mean, but also it would limit it. So I could see that argument being made too. It would limit the amount of subjects you would have available because with animals, like animals they can't communicate their consent to doing shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, honestly, and like I'd be willing to do that kind of stuff because honestly, like after seeing like Fallout 4 and stuff like that, I'm like, wait, these ghouls are like hundreds of years old and they look like deep fried scrotums. I'd totally trade that aspect of my life to gain immortality, essentially.
Yeah, if I'll live forever but be ugly forever, it's a fine trade off.
Exactly. I
Um,
could be a deformed freak, but I could have the powers of Superman with certain testing. Like, yeah,
yeah, I mean, like, I think also, what was I gonna say? I think it's a very selfish thing. It's a very human thing to do. I think it's a very selfish thing to put the value of our life above the life of like another animal because we're animals at the end of the day. We're just I think we're just the apex predator right now, the current apex predator. And like to think that like this world was created for us or that some god created it in his image because we don't if there is a god, we certainly don't fucking look like him or them or whoever it is. Um, it's a very selfish thing that humans do, but I also get
Yeah.
it. I mean, like imagine like if apes or like dogs, if I'm sure even dogs, the most loving fucking creatures on this planet, if they had like if they were the apex predator, they'd probably see humans the way that we see dogs. You know what I mean? I'm sure I have no doubt in my mind.
I think it's the whole like higher intelligence factor to it, because like I'm not saying dogs are stupid or anything like
No,
that,
no,
but
they're smart.
they're very
Those
smart.
motherfuckers can learn.
But the thing is, they're hardwired to have like this whole like pack mentality and like this symbiotic relationship with other things. We don't have that, unfortunately. There can be humans who
We
have,
don't like other humans. You know what I mean? We're just very good at that.
yeah, like you don't see like a sociopathic or a psychopathic dog. Like you see that in people. Like it comes with the higher brain function territory.
But yeah, I think like because our like neocortex is more like developed at a certain capacity than like a dog's or whatever, even a fucking a fox or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Our shit's like so higher developed. We have these ideas of ethics and of these different questions and of morality, all these constructs, and nature don't give a fuck about any of that, dude. But so then, because we have all these concepts, we see outliers in the concepts that we've developed, right? Every culture, every human culture on this planet has an idea of morality or ethics or how to treat each other, which I think is like, if in my opinion, I think kind of was birthed out of an evolutionary need, because like I think that at the core of it, humans very much are social creatures, and we couldn't do this whole existence thing being isolated islands. So we kind of need each other, which is like that's why like we developed like ideas of like, oh well, we should treat people this way or that way, and so that's like where right and wrong comes in. So I think there is a kind of a need for that, certainly.
And it's
But
also
I mean,
because
also,
like I genuinely think like all animals are good to some extent if you're placing the idea on morality onto animals like that. Like you have to understand that they have like survival instincts that can do things that are like questionable, yes, brutal, yes, but they don't do it out of like a sense of knowing it's wrong. They just do it to survive. That's just how they are. That's just what they do.
I think
Whereas we as
every
humans can make terrible choices if it boosts our own, like, kind of like goal. It doesn't necessarily have to be like at a sex food or anything like that. It can be like something so mundane and we still do something bad to one another.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, but I think every creature, every conscious living being on this planet, is born kind of. If we're talking about like on a morality scale, they're kind of born neutral, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's start with the example of like humans, right? So like humans, we and because we understand each other, we don't know how like maybe a tiger thinks. And I'll use that in the other example. But so with humans, right? So we're born, and then we have to learn these concepts of like empathy or of loving thy neighbor, that sort of thing, right? And so we have to learn these things. We don't know these things. When we're born, we're just kind of selfish and like we just take what we want and what we like quote unquote need. You know what I mean? It's all tied back down to survival. So like, I think naturally, like nature guided stuff, right? Important survival mechanisms can be extremely selfish and evil, but because we have this understanding of like how we should be treating each other, we can choose to be good. And I think like maybe a tiger, right, for instance, like we don't know if it's like a tiger when it like attacks like a what's like a prey of it. Are zebras usually in the same? I'm not a fucking zoologist, man.
I would
Are
say
they like in the
zebra,
same?
antelope, even what's those fucking things? Uh I forget the name of them, but they're kind of like they look a little bit like a buffalo, but they're like athletic type, not like chunky. Like
I mean, like a bison? No, not bison.
uh, wildebeest. Is that what it is? Wildebeest. That's got to be
I
it,
don't.
right?
Again, dude, I'm not a zoologist. Don't quiz me,
Yeah.
man. I studied psychology, but so
This is the last time I get
um,
stoned and watch National Geographic.
Dude, honestly, getting high and watching nature docs, bro, fantastic pastime. But so you learn a lot of crazy shit. Like I learned about this like transgender frog. It was crazy. But
Hmm.
I'll explain later maybe. But so anyway, so the so like tigers, right? So like when they're hunting their prey or whatever, they're just thinking like, oh, I need food for myself and the pack, right?
Hmm.
I mean, tigers probably do they have a pack mentality? I know lions do, so maybe I'm sure tigers do.
They might have
But
family at home that need to feed. You know, you never know.
they've got cubs. They got cub, right? They got family to feed. So like
Exactly.
they're not maybe they're not like maybe they are concerned about what the zebra feels or how they feel about getting eaten, or maybe they don't. They're just thinking like I need to feed myself and my cubs so we can survive and keep going. So maybe they just don't care. So who knows? I mean, maybe they're not burdened with that idea of like, well, fuck, how does the yeah, just burdened with empathy. Empathy is a fucking burden. I mean, it's a great practice when you're interacting with other people and other beings, but holy shit, can it like really hurt you?
No,
But
literally, there's a case example of this. Like in a National Geographic thing I saw, there was like this
yeah,
cheetah that went out and killed a chimpanzee. I don't know what the fuck a chimpanzee was doing out in cheetah territory, but that's besides the point.
he was fucking around and finding out.
Exactly. Well, this chimpanzee was a girl and apparently a mother too. It left behind a baby chimpanzee that was just like crying and like worried about what's gonna happen next.
Right, because
Cheetah,
the chimpanzee baby doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
exactly. The cheetah's like after done killing its mom is just like, oh fuck, it had a kid. What the fuck do I do? And it just immediately like picks it up and tries to put it into a tree, almost like trying to protect it. I'm just like, it had a choice to like be a parent, and it decided to adopt a chimpanzee, and it's
That's
just
heavy, man.
winging it.
That's interesting, man. I didn't. Wow, that's very cool.
It's like some
I
brother bear shit. Like what the fuck?
That is like Brother Bear. That's crazy, man. That's a nutty move. I didn't even. Wow. So I mean, maybe they do have like that idea of like empathy. I'm sure the tiger was like, well, shit. I wouldn't want my kid to like starve or whatever, like
Yeah,
or
yeah,
be alone. Um, wow. Yeah,
yeah,
that's crazy. So yeah, nature is interesting. I mean, I know that like again, if we want to talk about like evolutionary things that are for the purpose of evolution, which is or survival, right, of the fittest, which is like basically all beings on this planet are built to like feed, fight, and fuck, and so like if we think about the concept of like sex, right, for reproductive purposes solely, which is what its evolutionary purpose is. That's why it feels so great. They want, evolution wants you to reproduce. But there's homosexuality found in other like animals. So it's like it's interesting because that doesn't really provide the purpose of reproduction. That's just for straight pleasure. So like
yeah,
you wonder sort of what must be on the mind of a lot of creatures. I also understand that like dolphins aren't they supposed to be like considered some of the most intelligent animals on the planet or something?
Oh, and they're borderline rapists. Yeah, like
Oh no
they're.
no 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 they're not borderline bro, they're like full on going for it.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well
Wow.
yeah, they're fucking yeah, dolphins. Ooh, you know what, who rapes is ducks.
What the? Oh damn! Don't let Donald near anyone. Holy shit. This
No,
motherfucker's already pantsless. Like
oh
Jesus.
my god, he's an exhibitionist and a rapist. So like but no, so apparently
Oh
like male ducks will like force their partner to like to go 20 or what are the fit go 8 fins.
no.
um
Eight
uh
feet. Yeah. Eight webbed toes.
four webbed feet.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 20 toes, but that doesn't translate to ducks. But so anyway, yeah, they fucking yeah, it's like terrible. And I'm pretty like isn't it that like dolphins like rape humans or something, or they like hump them?
Yeah, they're known to do that, and there was that story of the guy in Florida who claimed to have a relationship with a dolphin, a
He like
sexual
straight up
one.
he said he like straight up banged the dolphin, right? He was just like he wrote a book about it.
Yeah, and before any of the people watching this say like, "Oh man, they should prosecute him," no, he did it when he was a teenager in the '70s, and then ban bestiality until like 2015 in Florida. So, good job, Florida.
He 2015. That's a bit late to the game.
Yeah,
That's
so I'm just like, wait, You're telling me I could have gone to Florida and done a whole lot more at SeaWorld. Holy crap.
Yeah, you could have gotten a literal whale, if you wanted to, up inside those guts, bro. That flubber.
Oh my
Um,
god. Not in a good way. That just sounds gross. Holy crap. Oh
yeah, no,
no.
it's just so bad. But it's
Ugh.
so I mean, on a legal perspective, he's fine. He's in the clear.
He committed no
However,
crime.
from a moral perspective, that's pretty fucked up, guy. It's pretty fucked up, my guy.
Well, based on what we know about dolphins, because the fact that we know that they're rapists, essentially, like, I don't know. To some degree, the dolphin might have been actually into it, which is kind of weird.
I mean, maybe, dude, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think I've seen a picture of the guy. He's not like particularly like good looking. I mean, again, I don't know what the thoughts of a dolphin are. They're usually attracted to other dolphins, which are fucking hairless, wet sea creatures with a blowhole.
Okay, well, also you have to think
Sea mammals, actually.
he's a
Yeah.
Florida man who was born and raised in Florida, lived in Florida for. He was a teenager in the 70s. That would make him what, like in his 50s, 60s by now, right?
Let's see. If he was a teenager in the 70s, he was probably born like in the mid 50s, so early, somewhere in the 50s. So then he would probably be today. It's 2022, so he'd be like in his 70s, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Also, you have to think like people in Florida, they live in humid, sunny heat, and they're chain smoking constantly, so they already have like leather skin by like 45. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So by Florida standards, when you take that into account, he's easily like an 8.5. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Probably he's like a Florida 8. But so
Yeah.
um
He's like the Brad Pitt of Florida right now.
um what was I saying? Yeah, I mean like just I don't know. It's interesting with animals. It's hard to tell because you can't we don't have a means of communicating with them. I do know a weird fact is that cats only meow to humans. They don't do it to other cats,
Huh.
which I don't know how that came about, but I just know I lived with a cat person for a while. I dated a cat person for a while, so I just know this information offhand. I have a friend of mine who she prefers cats. I don't know why. I don't know that debate because like I mean like cats are cool, right? Like I don't mind cats when you like when they get to be cool with you or like at least cordial with you, it's fine. Cause but like that's the problem is like with a dog, right? You bring it home, you're feeding it, you're petting it, it's gonna love you for fucking ever, son. It's gonna like, provide that unconditional positive regard. But like with a cat, man, even if you feed it and you give it an apartment that's its whole world. You know what I mean? It's like it's chilling.
Well, I think
It's
it
still
like
gonna be like it's still gonna be like who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like
I think the reason behind it is I've noticed that a lot of like dog people are very much like extroverts. They very much like being the life of the party, very much interacting with people, so they get along with dogs very easily because dogs like that kind of
dogs
shit.
are also that kind of way, and I mean like you take a dog out because you have to, right? You can send it out in the backyard if you have the luxury of having a backyard, but you usually take it out. So when you're out and about, people will be like, oh, there's a person with a dog, and it's a cute dog, and they'll say hi and stuff. So you have to be kind of extroverted a little bit if you're gonna have a dog.
Yeah, if you naturally like avoiding people or just kind of like spending time on your own, there is a likely chance you will get a cat because cats, at their core, are very much sufficient.
Hmm.
They just kind of need enough human,
Interaction.
exactly, an input to like live their daily lives. But
Right, they need someone to fucking change their water and feed them, yeah, and sometimes play with them if they desire. Like I mean, like I actually I've lived. Let's see, the first place I moved out into and I moved out was I moved in with my friend Aaron, who he had the two cats at the time. I lived in that little itty bitty shitty apartment. Oh, I moved into Zach's place, and then shortly after, his girlfriend's cat moved in. Um, After they started seeing each other. Which the cat was cool. She just kind of kept to herself. She would not stop meowing when it was like dinner time. So like you could tell when you needed to like feed her. So that was kind of like helpful. She would like remind you. She's like, hey, it's fucking, it's 8 o'clock. Like, feed me. Um, and she was nice enough. She was fun to play with. She'd be cool. She could chill sometimes. But I mean, yeah. So generally, like cats are kind of like the roommate. They're kind of like whatever he's around, like sup, and like you have to get used to them.
yeah,
Um, yeah, cats are like the roommate you found on Craigslist. It's like you like the guy enough because you live with him, but like you're not gonna like you got to warm up to hang out with him first. You got to see if you like you want to vibe with him, or her, whoever it may be. I don't mean to assign gender to it, but
Exactly. And
yeah,
then
just
dogs are basically like literally taking care of a baby. Like you
yeah,
get it, you feed it, you cuddle with it, you dress it up. Like if you're one of those
if you
people.
choose, if you're one of those, which I mean, like that's fine. I think the cute little costumes that like, if it's not a full body costume for a dog, it's cool. If it's one of the ones that's like at just the front, like of their like neck and stuff with their front paws, like that's cool. I think like I've seen like the Chucky one is really cute or whatever, and it's like it's probably I hope it's not too like annoying on the dog to have. That's just my only concern is like I don't want to make a dog uncomfortable by dressing it up. It's not
Oh, of course not.
dogs are happy being naked. They
Yeah.
barely care if they have a collar on. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a
Just
dog's a baby. It's not a Barbie doll, okay?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, dogs are very much they're like just cool babies. You know what I mean? They're just like they're fun to play with, fun to hang out with, and you just gotta remember to feed it and let it go to the bathroom.
Exactly. And
Um,
they don't shit their panties, you know? Like you can take them outside and they do their business outside. Boom.
Yeah, but you do have to pick up their poop, which like that's kind of the diaper changing component. Okay, so yeah, so they are kind of like fucking bait. We're just making more of an argument.
Yeah.
You have to you have to pick up their poop like you pick up a baby's poop. But
And then cats are like a roommate, but you have to pay for all of their like DoorDash orders. Like,
actually, yeah, they're always
yeah.
like, hey man, it's,
Hey, can you
you
swap me
took
for
care of
some?
this one.
You getting pizza? Can you swap me for some wings? They're that kind of
Yeah,
roommate.
yeah, it's like, could you give me some wings? The motherfucker who has no money says, "Oh, you get some." Bro, I had this one time. I had this one time. There was this guy we were hanging out with, and he always has to be against the grind and like he has to be against the norm for whatever reason. He has to always cause a stir because he needs attention. Sorry, mommy and daddy didn't hug you enough when you were a kid, but
Oh my god.
I don't hang out with him anymore, so it's fine. But so there was this one
Is
time that
this the
was
same
pissing me.
motherfucker we're thinking of? Like,
That's not who I'm thinking of. It's this other guy I was hanging out with up until recent. He was accused of some stuff, which again now it's like confusing because I guess him and the supposed victim are hanging out. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so
oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So he had to cause some sort of stir. Like we were all really fucking high one night, and I did not have like the attention to focus on like being able to order for like three other idiots, all four idiots together total, who are all just wigged out of their mind. And every single time we said one thing, this motherfucker had to say, "Can you give me this?" Which is from a completely different spot. So it's like, bro, it was like fucking annoying, and I like fucking gave up. I was like, "Fuck you, man! Fucking order your own shit." I got such a back and forth because he had to cause a fucking stir and make such a fucking problem of us just getting some fucking food. We're all hungry, like we're all on the same page of just get something to eat.
If
Why do
you're
you have to
the
make it so
one guy in
uncomfortable?
the group ruining the vibe of everyone else and you're high out of your minds, like, that's a problem. It has to take a specific kind of negative energy to do that.
Yeah, to be like baked right, to like be like it's like no stoner. If you're an angry stoner, you've got some fucking issues you need to work out, man. Because like pot does not should not make you angry. If you're an angry drunk, sure, like it could be the alcohol. It also could be some underlying anger issues that are unregulated with non-alcohol. But
Yeah.
like when you're stoned, like you shouldn't be a dick. Like people are just like giggling and like whatever. They're just baked. So you don't. Why do you have to be such a fucking hard ass about stuff? But anyway,
Also, food for thought. Maybe like buy a fuckload of food first before you get high. That also works out too. But that's just me. I mean,
I think what I'm gonna do in the future is especially like before I do like a big like before I plot a session of like being really high, just order the food first before it kicks in. Just order the food first, and then so you don't have to worry about it later, and it shows up, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean, like, and then and always, I think like especially like if you're like tripping, you need a great equalizer, which is just pizza. You need
yeah.
is pizza's like a great thing to have when you're like not terribly hungry, but you still kind of like know you need to eat. It's like a snack kind of food almost. Like you could just have a slice, munch on that, debate, probably have another slice, and then you just leave the rest of the box for later. It's totally fine. Like I had some leftover pizza from last night. I had a double date last night, which was really fun.
Oh,
It was
nice.
it was me and Kate, and then our friends Revel and Bella, and they took us to this place
Oh,
out in it was like outside of Palo Alto. It's called Viscotti. I think it was what's that? It's like the Alpine Inn. It was very cool. Very good drinks. They had this one drink called James the Giant Peach. Yeah, it was Rosati's. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Little small advertisement. Check it out. But they had this great
yeah.
cocktail. James the Giant Peach, which had like peach puree and some other stuff in there.
Oh,
Very good, very sweet. It had some mint too, which was nice.
huh.
And then I had one of their margarita pizzas, which like I figured that was like a safe choice because like I could have half of it then, save the other half for another day, which I did. I had it for lunch today. Um, yeah, my diet today consisted of toast, pizza, and Chinese food. Um, but yeah, so it's a great little spot, and it's actually like it's very cool. It's like out in like it's out in Palo Alto. I think it's like outside of Ish there. It might have been Los Gatos. So it was kind of like in a woodsy area. So we like it's really weird. It's off the road. It looks like a really small establishment from the outside,
Yeah.
but then it's got a bunch of tables in the back and this whole back patio kind of vibe going. I mean, it was freezing out last night. Like I remember walking out to my car this morning and it was 37 degrees. Which is a little tangent. Like my car has this. It has a lot of alerts, which is helpful. But one of the alerts that's just annoying is and redundant is it I get in the car, I start it when it's like really cold in the morning, and it'll say warning, low temperature outside, and I'm like, no shit, man, I just felt it. But so anyway, um, they had lamp heaters and stuff, which was nice. But so they had this nice little patio area, and me and Kate chose because we got there first, so we had to pick the table. They offered us something like it was like a bench right by a creek or whatever, so it was very cool, very like feels like kind of like out of the way and out in the woods almost, like kind of like I felt transported back to Portland. It was cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
nice little. If you're ever up here again, man, you should definitely check it out. I might have to also recommend it to mom and dad. They have some very good cocktails. Kate had this other cocktail. I can't remember what the name of it was. And then Revel was a mad lad. He got like a spiked hot chocolate, so good for him, man. That was sweet. That was cool. It had like bourbon in it, which is like very cool.
Huh.
It worked out. They also had a hot toddy on the menu, which I think when I'm down this weekend, I think I want to try doing that. I've never had a hot toddy before.
There was a
Was
recipe I
that
saw online actually for that because this YouTuber I follow every now and then, How to Drink, does
mm-hmm.
like cocktails based on like various medias, like movies, video games, TV shows, and whatnot. He did 3 separate ones for the show Cowboy Bebop, the anime, obviously.
No, the original anime, not the Netflix adaptation.
Yeah, so he did the Prairie Oyster, the Cowboy Cocktail, and then the Vodka Toddy. But how he did his Vodka Toddy was like lemon wheels,
Mm-hmm.
2 shots of vodka, about 6 ounces of hot water,
Mm-hmm.
and rosemary sprigs in the glass.
See, the rosemary would work well with the vodka. Usually, a hot
Yeah,
toddy is honey, whiskey, and cinnamon sticks and hot water. Yeah,
yeah.
usually is what I remember from the recipe that I saw in a TikTok once. But um, sorry, there was just something out my window. It was like some music or whatever. Almost sounded like the fucking Halloween theme. I was like, what?
Oh
Um,
no, Michael Myers. Oh no.
you're a little late, man. It's almost fucking Christmas. Like, um, but no, so that was very cool. What else has been going on in the world? Oh, the World Cup finished, so I guess Argentina won, right?
Yeah, no, I saw one of my coworkers from my Cinemark days post on Instagram. It's like, yeah, Argentina won. And he was there. He wore the jersey, and it was like,
That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Good for him.
I know
That's fun, man.
he's living his best life, man. I'm proud. I'm proud of him.
I'm not big on soccer, but like, or any sport for that matter. Like, don't. I mean, like, I think the only sport I can really engage with like live is maybe basketball because like there's always something going on, and I mean, there's probably always something going on with soccer. I just can't follow the rules yet. I don't understand them very well. Baseball is probably like one of the most. I like going to baseball games, but the games themselves can just be like a lot of waiting. So it's like you're just kind of like sitting around. There's like a lull, but then like when something goes down, it's like really quick, really high paced, and then it slows down again, which is kind of like baseball's fine. But so
I think
it's
what
my
they
least
need to do
favorite
is they
sport.
need to spice up the first pitch. I'm sorry, that's what they need to like work on a little bit more. Like,
What should they be like throwing confetti when they do it? What do you mean? Like,
no, get like more interesting celebrities or famous people doing like the first pitch. Like, what was it? Like one of the best ones I saw was so you know the band Ghost, who has their whole like theatricality aspect to their performances.
totally, yeah. You showed me that band, yeah.
Yeah, the
By the
lead,
way, they were sick.
right? Which album were you listening to?
I have to remember the name. It's got a crazy cover though. All of their albums have crazy covers, but so let's see.
Yeah.
Ghost. I was listening to. Oh, prequel. That's the one. The one you recommended. That's right.
Oh, baby,
Love
baby.
that shit. Good album. Good album.
Oh
Oh, and
my.
I recommended Revel the Orville Peck album Bronco. He loved it. So actually,
Oh, everyone
it's
needs
a
a gay cowboy in their life. I'm sorry, everyone does.
it's a great record, man. He's just a golden voice of the gods, bro. Anyway,
And the inspiration he draws from, but yeah.
back to the opening pitch. Who do we need to?
So in this
Mm,
video I saw, it was the lead singer of Ghost with full face paint and a black baseball cap and a custom like outfit that says like Papa 4 on the back. And he's throwing the
Nice.
first pitch, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome, man. Like,
That's cool.
just get a bunch of metalheads just throwing the first pitch. I want to see James Hetfield throw first pitch. You know?
Facts, dude. That'd be sweet.
Oh
Ozzy
my.
Osbourne. He probably has thrown first pitch at one point.
Oh, he totally would.
Um, I like when there's like niche. I like when there's like random celebrities doing the national anthem. Like, I mean, it's not necessarily random, but like, I remember this one time Adam Devine was like doing the national anthem, and he was actually very good. He was very good, but I like the way he ended it when he was doing the at the end when they always the national anthem when they always do the when they always hold the and the home of the brave, right? Like when they're
Yeah.
holding that fucking brave note, he was like, I remember as distinctly the footage. He was like holding them. He had the mic like this. He was like brave, and he was just like staring directly into the camera, like not breaking eye contact, which was sweet. I loved it.
That's a power move. Holy shit.
Fucking power move, son. But yeah, I love that sort of thing. Baseball games can be cool. They're fun to go to. Just the sport itself. I mean, like, I think maybe also the perspective that would help to change it is if like if I understood more about it, right? If I like had understood like maybe like if I could get into the mindset of maybe the pitcher and be like, oh, what is he gonna throw? You know, like what's he thinking? What's he gonna do? And like you kind of like it gets you more invested that way. That's at least what someone told me.
Yeah.
But we were talking about soccer. So yeah, so apparently like this, there were a lot of events this week at like local breweries or bars where they'd be playing the live footage of the World Cup at certain times and days and stuff, which is good. And like I think the last day of the games was on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I was hearing that like Kate was telling me that like all the bars in San Francisco were like hella poppins, which is cool. Um, so yeah, it's very nice when like those sorts of things bring people together. I know that also soccer fans can be some of the most emotional in the world, which again, it's like just get the fuck over it. It's just a bunch of people kicking a ball around for a couple hours.
And they're almost always gonna like either tie or like score 1-0. It's one of those two. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's very rare. Yeah, and that's the sport you can tie in. And I don't know, it's still confusing to me. But I mean, again, I don't follow. I'm also confused by hockey. I don't fully understand the rules of that. I've just finally understood a good gist of the rules for football, enough of the rules to actively engage when watching it that one time a year I do. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I do have ESPN Plus. I just don't. I'm not a sports guy. I'll watch it if it's on. If I'm going to someone's house and they're watching the game, I'm not gonna be like change the fucking channel. I'm gonna sit and watch with them and just have the expert talk at me about what's going on, which is cool, or react to it, and I'll like react appropriately. It's usually how I get by.
That's actually a very smart approach. I should fucking do that. Jesus Christ.
I just know a lot of friends of mine who like sports and stuff, so I have to do that sort of thing. So I mean like my one of my friends likes basketball a lot. One of my friends likes football. My buddy Jack likes baseball. Rebel likes hockey, and baseball too. And then I mean, I don't think I have any friends that are like, excuse me, super into soccer. But like, you know, I don't really care for that anyway. So what's the problem? But
See, I gotta hang out with more people who like basketball because like that is my jam. Like baseball, I can kind of get by on. Like football for sure, but I just the hard part is like gauging who the fucking team is that the person I'm talking to is rooting for.
yeah, yeah, you want to make sure you know that like before you go in.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, like, luckily, like a lot of people here in the Bay, like their teams are like the Golden State Warriors or like the San Francisco 49ers or the San Francisco Giants or the San Jose Earthquakes for soccer or the San Jose Sharks.
yeah, but here where I live, it's like very interesting. Like you either get like it's very rare it's ever like the 49ers or anything. It's almost always like Oakland Raiders for sure. The Rams and then Cowboys. There's a lot of Cowboys fans in my area, which is kind of surprising.
Oh yeah, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I don't know. That's very interesting. And then also the Raiders aren't even from Oakland anymore. They moved to Vegas. But like,
Yeah.
and why be a fan of the Raiders? They usually suck. But
Yeah.
um,
They're like the butt of like the joke of everything, man. Come on.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But no, yes. I mean, it's pretty easy to follow. I will say basketball is again my favorite sport to watch because it's actively engaging because there's always something going on. They're running across the court, they're shooting their shots, they're doing all this shit. It's cool. I can follow along to basketball pretty well. It can keep me engaged because there's always something going on. With like baseball, it's a lot of waiting. Football, it's kind of the same thing. It's like once they throw the ball. Um, and start getting it going. It can be pretty interesting. Hockey is a very cool sport because that's one of the few sports that like actively encourages violence. Like
Yeah.
I think there's like a rule about like I don't know, you can like literally throw punches. You can like fisticuffs, man. You can fist that's the word I was looking
Oh
for. You
my
can fucking
god.
fisticuffs in the game for whatever reason. I can't remember why. In the comment section, maybe someone can explain it. But yeah, hockey's fun to watch. Um,
See, it's funny. Like every time I look at football, I'm like, oh man, this is like the most popular sport in America, and I just like look at a game and I'm like, this is kind of like an aggressive form of like chess meets tug of war. This is kind of interesting.
Kind of, yeah, yeah. Rugby is an intense sport, and my opinion of observing sports is way different than like my opinion of people partaking in sports. The people who do sports are very athletic, much more athletic than I will ever be, probably in my lifetime, certainly actually.
Yeah.
And so I do very much respect people who play the sports. Like they're going ham. They're built different for sure. Again. I'm talking from the perspective of being a consumer, and not so much an active participant.
See, I gotta have like an excuse to like get fit. Honestly, now that you mention that, like I gotta get like a
Hmm.
tattoo of like a Joe Star birthmark on my back or something. That way, it encourages me to get fucking fit.
I mean, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like get inspired by watching these like fucking like athletes or like health nut guides, and I'm just like no. I need
Oh
a more
yeah, wait.
dumbass excuse.
Maybe you can explain this situation to me. So I guess there was this guy Liver King, and it was recently found out who the guy who obviously looks like he's taking steroids. Oh, big surprise! He's taking fucking steroids. Um, like when that story broke, I saw the pictures because I'd never heard of him before. I'm not into that health nut shit. If you are, go for it. Do what you want to do. It's your life, man. Live it the way you want to live. Like people who do CrossFit, props to you. Not for me, but like you do you, man. But anyway, so this guy who like as soon as the story broke, I saw the pictures of him and I was like, wait, people are surprised by this? Like
Yeah, that's what
I
I
don't
was
know.
thinking. I was like, dude, this guy is not like normal human. This man is like Bane without the mask. Like this is
Facts.
yeah.
Bane without the mask and with a big old beard. I do like his beard. I respect the beard.
Yeah.
And I respect the people. You know what, man? I'm of the opinion that like people, if they want to do steroids, they should be able to. Like it's gonna fuck up their bodies, but like if you want to do it, go for it. Like I even think like like banning steroids from like Olympics and stuff. That should not be the move, dude. We should give people more steroids and see what limits they can reach, man.
See,
For real.
like,
We're just fucking like we're just incapacitating them from achieving true potential. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's okay. Since we're on the subject of like athleticism and drug use and then sports, bring steroids back to baseball. I want to see like some jacked motherfuckers hit home runs like it's nothing.
I want to see someone bat at baseball and make it explode, dude. Like, come on, man, let's go, dude.
What was it? There's a YouTuber I follow, or they're a duo, Internet Today, and one of them said, Elliot, he said, yeah, I want to see them visibly like grow 4 hat sizes over the course of a season because they're on that much steroids.
That would be sweet. That'd be sick. And then the pitchers would go ham, dude.
Oh my god, dude! There's a reason why Babe Ruth was like peak physical condition. The man drank, chain smoked, and ate like a goddamn pig. But damn, can he hit a ball?
Yeah, for real, dude. He was a good batter. I also
Same with
respect
John Daly. Oh my god, greatest golfer. Like the man pounds like a pound of M&Ms, 12 Diet Cokes, and chain smokes and plays a perfect game. Like what the fuck?
He's like just so much chaotic energy, and I love it. His fits go the Viper shades, like everything else is like chaotic, but the Viper shades just bring it to a certain level, man. It's crazy. John Daly's great. I also have a lot of respect for for baseball players because like pitchers especially they like really fuck up. Well, I mean, I guess batters too. They all fuck up their joints and stuff. So they
Oh
can only
yeah.
play for so long, yes, until they just can't physically. You know what I mean? That's why they like retire after like 10 years. I think Crawford has been on the Giants for like a long time. Again, I don't follow this stuff
Jesus.
as much. I just get secondhand info from people. How long has he been on the Giants? Oh yeah, he's been on the Giants for like 11 years, dude.
Jesus
Crazy.
Christ. How old is he? What?
35.
Oh man. Damn. Just imagining what his joints are gonna look like by 50. Jesus.
Yeah, and then Tom Brady is like built different. He's like fucking 50 and still playing.
Okay, well, Tom Brady has like the perfect excuse. Like the man like got divorced and he poured his money into cryptocurrency like an idiot. So like he's gonna have to play to like make all that money back.
He can't retire. You know, he lost his retirement money on crypto in the divorce.
He financially
Um,
cannot retire. That's just what it is, man.
that's what it is. I also just don't think he can give up the game. I think he like every time he says he's gonna retire, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Which I respect. You know, like I think like if you wanna spend your life like I think it's a noble. I think he should be like fucking. I think he should play until he dies on the field. Like he'll be playing at 80. He'll be running trying to catch the ball. It'll hit him and he'll explode. He'll be like fucking honorable death, dude. I think like dying doing what you love is great.
Oh, honestly, like I think that's also like the same thing that William Shatner suffers from because he's like 90 and he still goes to Comic-Con and signs stuff. So
Is he 90? Holy shit, he's gonna croak soon. We're gonna lose another Star Trek star, man.
I think
Fuck.
we're gonna lose the whole major cast. We already lost Uhura,
I remember Leonard Nimoy died, yeah,
and then we lost Bones too. We lost Bones.
fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. We also lost Hagrid this year. That was a shame.
You know what's sad is that like shortly after his passing, there was like a clip running around where he's talking about like his work behind Harry Potter, and he says like, oh, the great thing about these films is that like they'll live on for like decades and whatnot. Like I unfortunately won't be here, but the character I play will still be here.
Yeah, I mean that's really like that's the whole thing about art in general is it's to in some capacity immortalize the person. Like for instance, like 100 years ago, Charlie Chaplin was doing his thing, making his little silent movies, and people still talk about that shit today, long
Yeah.
after he's been dead. So it's like, it's a staple of like American culture. Buster Keaton, fucking Vincent Van Gogh left behind his paintings and
God.
stuff. Like, he left that stamp on the world. It's all about like leaving your fucking mark, man. And I think that's
Yeah.
like very respectable, and that's kind of what all of human history has been about. I think like even like if we can trace it back to like the cave paintings by like Neanderthals and stuff, they were just trying to make some mark about like, hey, it's all a variation. Holy shit, it's all a variation of the phrase, I was here. And that's like
Yeah.
really, that's a very connecting human experience to have of like wanting to be remembered and wanting to feel like what you did while you were like around was like impactful in some capacity. And just, yeah, that just got me on a deep train of thought and some existential vibes.
Well, no, that's why I kind of respect people like Daniel Day Lewis because even though he like barely makes that many movies, like he's so picky with his films that like he takes on like the most challenging roles for himself, and
Mhm.
it's always gold. He's always putting out gold.
I actually need to see There Will Be Blood. I've not seen that yet.
Neither have I. I literally just watched what was it, Neighbors recently? That Seth Rogen, Zac Efron movie.
Oh, how's that one?
That was pretty good. Dave Franco, oh my god, his character is the best part in the movie. Holy crap.
Dave Franco, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Zac Efron's cool, but like that was back when he was like still like in his hot twink phase. So yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's cool. Have you seen what was the recent set photos of him in the tank top and the jorts and like the bowl haircut?
The Lord Farquaad cut, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like he had like he had like the mullet kind of bowl going. It was like, oh my
Dude,
god,
he
that's
looked like
insane.
he was in a punk metalcore band. Like, what the fuck is
I
going on?
respect the hell out of that dude. That was that was fucking. That's a choice, man. It's a stylistic choice.
It
Um,
is. It really
Speaking of
is.
metal, I think you would fuck with this band. You got to find my tattoo artist. I was getting a tattoo this week. I got this like little lotus flower here, if you can see.
Oh hell yeah, hell
It's
yeah,
peeling and kind of gross right now, but I got it on Wednesday.
yeah.
Um, and the tattoo artist recommended these guys called the Goddamn Gallows. It's apparently his buddy's band because I was telling him like, oh yeah, I fucking roadie for this one band. Check out their album Seven Devils. It's like this crazy, and you gotta like look up like their like live performances, like the instruments they use. Like they have an electric guitar, obviously, and drums. The drummer's apparently really short. The guy's like 5'3".
Oh my god.
But the bassist is using a cello, and this guy is 7 feet tall. And so when you see him perform live, he's like hunching over the cello. You know how like when people play the cello upright, like they're standing straight up because the cello's taller than fucking them. No,
Yeah.
this guy is like taller than the cello and has to like crouch down. It's like or like bend down. It's like crazy. And then
To
like they have
him,
a
that's just a
banjo in the
fat
band.
violin. Like, what is going on?
It's yeah, for real. Um, they have a banjo in the band, and then they have an accordion.
Oh my god. Wait. Oh my god, this sounds incredible.
They're
Wow.
great. My favorite track off that album that I recommended you is called Y'all Motherfuckers Need Jesus. Great. It's a great track. Great band. They're out of Michigan. Viewers, check them out. Give them some streams. Um, they're
Wow.
very cool. Yeah, the tattoo guy was funny, man, this week. So apparently he's the owner of this local shop in Sunnyvale. So I had booked the tattoo with the assistant or whatever, and so I didn't meet the guy until the day of. But he was so chill. We were joking around. He was playing like some punk rock, so we were talking about that. And like then he was talking about he was joking about his band. And he was saying like, oh, but they're into like he was making like fun of like a Midwestern accent. He was like, oh, they're like into the devil and stuff and Satan. And I was like, oh, gee, Willikers, oh boy. We were just laughing and goofing the whole time. Guy's fucking cool, man. I'm definitely going back to him. He's also very good at what he does. He was like, usually what tattoo artists do, for those who are unfamiliar, is they'll have like a stencil and they'll put it on the place on whatever part of your body you want your tattoo on, and they'll just trace that and use that as the outline. This guy did not do that. He
Wait,
grabs a sharpie.
he free-handed it?
Um, he freehanded it. So he grabs a Sharpie. He's doing a rough drawing. Or he does a couple rough drawings because he's like, well, fuck, I can't really figure out how to do this. He's like, sorry, man, it's kind of like out of my. He talks like this. Sorry, it's like out of my wheelhouse, man. I'm like trying to figure it out. And I was like, oh, it's cool, man. I'm not really in a rush. Like, I didn't have anywhere to be the next morning. I'm unemployed. So
Yeah.
he's like drawing it a bunch of times, and he finally gets it right. And he's just freehanding it, dude. And he does a really like kick-ass job. And the color fit, and he was like recommended. Like I was like kind of just like my base idea was like I was coming in. I knew I wanted a lotus flower. I wasn't particular about the design or anything. But I had this one example from the internet I found of like it was kind of like a watercolor vibe. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I used that as like the example. I showed it to him, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to do like maybe some like hues of blue and like going into like purple and then into pink and like." And then like before he started tattooing, he was like, "I got a great idea, man. Let's like put orange in the middle. It'll be nice." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, that sounds sick." And so yeah, he did the whole shebang. It was sweet, man. It still kind of stings a bit. It's peeling a lot, but that's just how tattoos go. But yeah, the tattoo guy was really cool. For those who are interested, the Veil Tattoo Shop in downtown Sunnyvale, very cool place. Apparently, him and his wife own it. This tattoo guy, him and his wife, which is very dope. Very, very much respect that. He's been tattooing for like 20 years, so he knows what he's doing.
And so the name of it again is the Veil.
The Veil, yeah, the Veil Tattoo in downtown
Veil.
Sunnyvale for those who are interested. Um, but yeah, has that been an hour, I guess, of the shift? Are we almost out of here then?
I think we're almost out here. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We are clocking out. Be excellent to each other
Exactly. Be excellent.
and party on, dudes.
Right